Hello, welcome back. I didn't have the voice recording on the first time I recorded this, so I'm going to try it again. But this is going to be the first installment of the Enhancement Pandaria PvP Enhancement Survival Guide. And I'm just going to, first video, I'm just going to go over the build, the glyphs, the talents, and the stats. So first the glyphs. I'm not going to tell you what everything does. You guys probably already know that. I'm just going to tell you, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to tell you that they're the best. Glyph Healing Storm, the best. It's amazing. You need the healing for the survivability. It's absolutely mandatory for PvP because you will get set, especially by yourself. You'll just get stomped without it, especially in battlegrounds, really in any case, arenas, whatever. It's going to be mandatory always. Second one is Purge. Purge is absolutely amazing because Purge is the functionality of Purge. It's like our MS. It functions as an interrupt. Purge bubbles, you purge instant pyroblast, instant lava bursts. The variety of usefulness of it, both offensive and defensive, is just way too great to pass it up. You know, purging freedoms, bubbles, whatnot. It's mandatory. It's better than anything else on here. Second one is Ghost Wolf, or third one is Ghost Wolf. The second one because this is absolute Glyph Healing Storm. So Ghost Wolf is pretty mandatory because our mobility is pretty crap right now, and I wish this was baseline because there are some other interesting choices, but you need it for the mobility, and it's really great. Like there's a special synergy that I'll get to later in the video. I don't take Hex because I like how it syncs with Capacitor Totem. What I do is a combo when I can hex him, I hex him, and then I drop Capacitor Totem right after, and then I drop any other totems or do buffs or Flame Shock or whatever, and I start whacking on him, and then I move the Frost Shock him, and then move the Capacitor Totem right to them when Hex is going to break from me damaging him, because Hex functions as kind of like a mini stun sometimes. So Hex breaks, and then they get Capacitor stunned for 5 seconds. Nope, I'm busy. So now we go to talents. I choose Glyph of Stone Bulwark Totem, but the talent, because I feel weird without it. Yeah, the absorb's alright. Astral Shift kind of sucks, really. I think the cooldown's too long, and the timing, you have to be really spot on with the timing using Astral Shift, when usually there's other things you can be doing rather than Astral Shifting, or you could be, you know, purging a pyroblast or using a grounding totem or sprinting away or something. It's usually not that useful. I usually have other stuff that I can do rather than use Astral Shift. Some bulwark, I can use it early on, pretty much like when I'm high health. Anytime you can just drop it and you'll get the absorb. Nature's Guardian is going to be really good in 3 vs 3. Especially if you're running with a Resto Druid or Resto Shaman. If you have full hots on you or Earth Shield, you're not going to die. So if you're running with especially those two healers, if they're it forces them to switch. It forces the enemy team to switch a lot. And if they're switching a lot, then you'll have this up more often to help you in case they try to burst you down in a stun chain or whatever. So it's gonna be really good. Oh, especially because it's really helpful in between Shamanistic Rage cooldowns. You have a minute on Shaman Rage, and this can come up in between and really help you when you don't have Rage up. Or, yeah, that's pretty much the only one. But yeah, Rage up. It can be really clutch, I'm predicting. So next tier, Frozen Power, pretty self-explanatory. The only time you'll ever take Windwalk really is if you have another Enhancement Shaman with you, because just the DRs on Frozen Power. Windwalk would be really good with Call of Elements, but you really need to take Totem of Projection. I recommend taking this all the time because you want to practice with it a lot. It's pretty hard to use sometimes, especially because I don't like it because it's so random, the positions that your totems get placed. Maybe if they were more compact, if it places them more compactly, I'd like it more. But you drop Earthbind is really good. Throwing it for Druids. Let's see, look how far apart they're all spread. Pastor's way over here, Earthbound's way over here. I wish they were just closer together or something. But chasing Resto Druids or any kind of Druid, the mobility is so insane because they're shifting out. But if you can project Earthbind in front of them, then even if they shift out of it, they'll probably get hit by it again. So it usually gives you time to catch up to them in Ghostful form in between your shocks and your unleash elements. Frostbrand, always use Frostbrand. It's amazing. So, and also because I think Tremor Totem has a really small area of effect, I think, but definitely Grounding Totem seems to have a pretty tiny effect. So if you're good enough to watch that, if you move out of range of your Grounding Totem and just running around, then it's really helpful. Like in threes, if you tremor and your healer's too far away, you can throw it to him. So I just recommend Tower Projection at least to practice with it until Mist comes out. Maybe you might want to take one of the other ones later, but for now, Tower Projection is really good. The next one, and even then, it's going to be really good. It's pretty flexible. The utility of it's pretty awesome. It's off the global cooldown too, so that's real nice. The next tier, Echo of the Elements, is amazing just because this build I'm maxing out heals, and our survivability is pretty awesome with our heals because our heals are amazing. I really hate the RNG of it, Echo of the Elements. I wish like the chance was doubled for half the effect, just because that's what I prefer. And people hate it too when it procs off huge heals. Like that was just a 60k heal when it procced off that one surge, but when it would have been a 60k heal if I had my full Maelstrom procs. Actually, I think that crit. It's like if you get a crit on the normal one and Echo, that's like 110k heal. If you get a crit on Echo and non-crit on the normal one, that's still like an 80 crit heal or 80k heal. So it can be huge. I think it can be too big. If they nerf healing in general, I hope we're just kind of compensated for it because we really need the heals to survive. Ancestral Swiftness, not that good at all. The haste is good, but you really don't need the instant cast because it's just going to run you out of mana if you try to hard cast a Surge or Healing Rain. And it sucks that Echo doesn't work on Healing Rain, but if you watch some of my other videos, I'm using Healing Rain a lot because it's awesome. Earlier I said that it wasn't good in that Enhance wasn't good in group play, but Healing Rain really helps a lot, like in Battlegrounds, especially on like Alterac Valley and a choke point or something like that. Just Healing Rain will do tons and tons of healing, especially with full Maelstrom procs. So you never need the instant cast on Ancestral Swiftness. Even especially if you don't get the glyph. Like I said, I like the hex and the capacitor totem being lined up on their cooldowns. It's pretty cool. And I'll get into another reason why you don't need swiftness later. Elemental Mastery, the only time I've seen this be useful is when you're running with a rogue and the rogue stun locks and you pop this and both of you just wail on your target. You will just demolish healers or anyone in real quick succession. It'll be really good with Ascendance later on in Mist once you get that, probably, even though the cooldowns aren't in sync. If you want more damage, maybe Ancestral Swiftness would be good. Yeah, if you want more damage, then these two would be better in either case. Ancestral Swiftness only slightly more damage though, and then Mastery would be, a cooldown pop. But in general, in Battlegrounds and duels and whatnot, Echo is better. And the next tier, Ancestral Guidance, I think is a lot better than Healing Tide Totem. So you use this when after you pop a Healing Surge with Maelstrom procs. You get a good burst of healing. Well, Healing Tide Totem, since it's so visible, it'll just get destroyed, and it actually doesn't do that much. It does about equal to Ancestral Guidance for the most part usually. I think it will do more if it doesn't get killed. But if you can get Ancestral Guidance and a heal off right away, and then maybe even another heal off later, that plus your damage is probably better, and plus the shorter cooldown. I like the shorter cooldown on it. But I don't know, really, Healing Tide could be good, especially if you use Projection and you hide the totem. I might try that out sometimes, but really, I kind of prefer Ancestral Guidance because it gives you a huge boost of a heal that can top you off like from 20% to 100 pretty consistently. So this is how I basically use it. I get my Maelstrom procs. Come on, yeah. So myself, Ancestral Guidance, and pop the Surge. Maybe I'll get another one. Got another proc. Pop it again. Another Surge, and it was increasing my Surge healing by 18k. I did 41k or so that was about 18k heals. Look at the combat log, my actions. I'm not gonna be able to find it now. Dang it, I was attacking stuff too much. Healing surge, 45k, 46k about, and then guidance healed me for an extra 18k. So it does a lot. I like it for burst healing, especially when I'm low. Like someone's about to kill me, and then no ancestral guidance with the healing wave surge, and I'm topped. But all right, so I'm gonna get to the most important part of this is the stats. The stat value or the stat priority is haste first. Haste is absolutely freaking amazing. Like I calculated it out against mastery, and assuming like your auto attack damage and your spell damage are about equal, haste will always be better than than mastery, always. Just because, and the reason why is because of the scaling. Haste scales a lot better than mastery and crit chance. Like the way mastery and crit scale is, if you get 100 points of mastery and increases your damage by 1% or so, then the next 100 points you get, it'll only increase your damage by 0.98%. And the next 100 points will increase your damage by 0.96%. And it'll keep getting like worse and worse. Same thing with crit. But haste, the way that it's calculated, it'll be flat. If 100 points increase your damage by 1%, then the next 100 points are going to increase your damage by 1%. And it's just the way it was calculated. It used to get better and better. I think in like Wrath of the Lich King, you would get better and better the more haste you had. But then they changed it, and now it just stays the same. But it still scales a lot better than both crit and mastery. The other thing. So it's really auto attack damage heavy, but I love it. Like I don't mind having my damage come from auto attacks because I love sticking targets, especially with Frostbrand. It's awesome. But the next biggest, even the damage is awesome, but the next biggest reason is because it reduces the length of your global cooldowns. And what's really gonna separate good enhanced shamans from the rest is how well they can keep track of their global cooldowns and the cooldowns on all the abilities, and just be able to be using abilities all the time. The biggest reason why haste is so good is because it works with all your glyphs. Ghost Wolf, Healing Storm, and Purge. Healing Storm and Purge are pretty much no-brainers, but also Ghost Wolf too a lot, because if you're getting kited and you want to like Frost Shock and unleash elements, I did that bad. So you're getting kited and you want to drop a healing totem, earthbind totem. You need to Frost Shock them and then unleash elements later. The faster you can do them, the faster you can get into Ghost Wolf form and catch up to them. And so it really helps out your mobility. The haste does, and it's just the faster globals are just, the utility of it is amazing, and there's nothing to compare really. Like the damage from mastery sucks, basically. The biggest reason why you don't need mastery is because of this. Because Grace of Air, you already have a passive boost to it, and that's really enough. So even at level 90, you're never gonna get mastery. At level 90, the first season, you're gonna want all haste and crit, and then after that is expertise. Because for some reason, play warriors strength classes have like 27% parry chance, and you want to be hitting him rather than not getting parried, and you want your Maelstrom procs to come up a lot and your damage to go through. Alright, so that's my first Pandaria survival guide video. I'll leave you with a close-up of my sexy transmog. Stay tuned for the rest. I'll be going more in depth into how to deal with specific class opponents, and really any suggestions, I guess, or any requests, maybe too, if you want to ask anything in specific, I'll go over. And if I forget anything or have anything else, I'll post that as well. I'm also going to be doing some battlegrounds and maybe some war games and put those in there for the fun of it. Some awesome clips. I got a few right now I got to put together in a video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.